Soul splitting is an absolutely terrifying event. For all the chilling details and much, much more, please stay right where you're at for the following video, part 28B. Hi, I'm Sarah Wilder, and this is Surviving the Man I Married. Let's continue with the reading. Jim's higher self made another appearance, saying that he has a chemical imbalance in his brain, wrought from years of being a compulsive liar. He believes his own lies. His false reality is created and even acted out as if it were real, along with a separate personality to match. Jim's higher self continued. He was educating me on compulsive liars and that they can attain belief in their fabrications almost immediately from the moment of inception, and it displaces the reality. So at times when Jim has been with other women, afterwards when he's sitting in his pickup truck and he's feeling guilty, he hits himself over the head over and over and over to punish himself, self-flagellating, if you will, to rid himself of the shame and the guilt he's feeling. And I'm told by his higher self is telling me all this through spirit. At those times, as a defense mechanism, Jim splits into another personality entirely. He becomes someone different. Further explaining to me, it is like a switch goes off in Jim's brain, and he doesn't remember that what he has just done, cheating or other bad things that he's done. Jim's higher self adds that he only feels guilt and shame when he's been cheating on me, whereas in his criminal endeavors, and you're going to hear some of them are quite violent, he feels absolutely no guilt whatsoever. Okay, Jim's higher self continues, explaining that in building and traversing this bespoke chemical pathway in Jim's brain, which the very worst compulsive liars develop, I'm told, that Jim absolves himself and becomes innocent of all crimes and sins, free of their burden. Peter personally remarked that Jim is the worst compulsive liar he has ever dealt with in giving readings. Putting an even finer point on things, Jim's higher self interjects, saying that Jim looks at old text messages and other old contacts with me to manufacture emotions and feelings of our prior conflicts to bolster his facade. So my higher self interjected here to offer more information on psychoses and schizophrenia. Psychoses, she said, are when fears, panic, irrational thoughts, and behavior control a person's actions. Schizophrenia, spiritually speaking, is when the person switches over to a past self, someone they were in a past life, along with those lived experiences, to become that person in the present. The person steps into this past persona in every way: look, sound, movement, feelings. Whoa. You know what I thought? You're probably thinking it too. This explains the cowboy, Jim's most evil, dark persona, the cowboy. So my higher self continues expounding on the process of this, what Jim undergoes when he splits into another personality. So my higher self further expounds on the process that Jim goes through in splitting into another personality, saying that in donning the alternate personality, Jim first deceives himself. And in doing that, he has no memory of his bad deeds. Instead of the usual kind of lying and like gaslighting, typical of a cheater and a narcissist cheater response, Jim's persona that he has stepped into believes in its innocence completely, totally innocence. So he flips the narrative and accuses me of all the things that I have lobbed at him and accused him of. My higher self labeled it as gaslighting done from a place of delusion, not deception. That's the difference. So then Peter lets me know that we were at the point in the reading when Spirit will allow questions. So here's the Q&A part of every reading, which is kind of my favorite part. Okay, I'm going to conclude part 28B here. Please stay tuned for part 28C when I continue with the third part of this intense reading with shocking information about my husband, Jim. I'm Sarah Wilder. This is Surviving the Man I Married.